Good evening and welcome to the Sports Locker. Tonight we're talking hockey, more specifically Euro hockey, after the big success Eagles achieved in Poland. 5 consecutive European competitions won, and they beat arch rivals Gramarians in an all-Gibraltarian final. So I'm very happy to welcome part of the Eagles team to the set now, head coach Chris Comilla, team manager Michael Vosio, and players John Paul Hernandez and Liam Laclea. Guys, first of all, 5 back-to-back, not easy.
No, certainly not. I think the run started back in 2019, and I think that was John Paul's first European Cup in Malta. We had obviously an interruption for COVID, and lots of things have to go right for you to be able to pull off 5. The record at the moment is 8, so there's Blumendal have achieved the 8 consecutive European appearances with wins, so we're on 5, and we're hoping to make it 6.
So you're chasing down that record, Michael?
I think so. I don't see why not. I mean, at the moment we're in the process of bringing up a new team with younger players, and I think, to be honest, I witnessed all 5 with Steven Vallarino before him, but definitely with the youngsters and the youth players that we've had this year, I would consider this 5th win as the most, gratifying, I would say. Yeah.
I mean, Eagles is a club steeped in European history. Now, what does it feel like to win another European competition? Is it what's expected of the club?
Obviously, there's always a high expectancy in the club, but, as Chris mentioned in the radio program yesterday, players come and players go, and we've had a nucleus of very good players, but we've only just started, in the last couple of years, we've only just started bringing our younger players up with the assistance, because you still need the experience in the team and that. So, but yes, the expectancy is always there, and our aim is always to be competing with the best, really.
Having said that, John Paul, going to Poland after what I would say was on paper successful, because you only lost once to Gramarians, was the most decisive game at the end of it. But going into Poland, were you confident?
I mean, I think it gave us the boost that we needed. So losing that last game gave us a lot of motivation to push for this tournament. So I think the final weeks of preparation were really strong. We all had that sour taste in our mouth for the last game. So, I mean, we all gave it our all. We all put in 100% effort. And I think it showed when we went over to Poland.
What's that period between Euro hockey and the end of season? Because, unfortunately, there's not that many domestic games in Gibraltar. And what are preparations like, Liam, heading to Poland?
Well, I feel like the training's become a lot more intense, knowing the challenge that we have ahead of us. Trying to get as many trainings as in a week as possible. Again, the tactic change between domestic league here, playing Gramarians all the season long in the first division, to then having to accustom to the way that other teams play, is a huge factor in the training sessions at the end of the season, and to just be as prepared as possible for the Euro hockey tournament.
Touching on what Liam says, I mean, how important is the coach's role to change that mindset? We're not going to be playing Gramarians 5 weeks in a row now. We're up against some of the best.
It's a challenge, because the reality is that when you play a domestic league, which has essentially 3 teams, and Gramarians are the ones that give us the greatest amount of competition on the pitch, it's very difficult to make players understand that what they can achieve in Gibraltar is very different when they leave. We know that that you're playing against player X, and you know that you can take him on the left side, and you can take it long, and you can run, and you're not going to get stopped. So what incentive might there be for a player to actually improve on certain skills that they might need to beat a player that is of better quality? And then when you go over to a tournament like Poland, and you're playing against a team which is now challenging for the Polish, and ended up top 4 in Poland and is now in the semi-finals to win the league, how do you know whether you can beat them? You don't know what their standard is like. So I think it's about getting them used to the idea that they've got to try and play a different type of hockey in Gibraltar to what they've usually been accustomed to. Here we know who we play, and we know what the standard is like, and you can get away with things that you probably can never get away with when you have a more competitive league structure. So that's the challenge, and I think they've started to realise, certainly in the last couple of weeks of preparation, they started to realise the importance of that. When we got to Poland and we got to that first game, they realised that it wasn't me just being pedantic, it was trying to set them up to the next level, and the next level is hockey is much bigger than Gibraltar. the standard is much higher outside of Gibraltar. And if we do the basics right, and if we get the skills right, and we strive to improve everything that we do, when we go out, we're going to perform at a much better level. And I think the 2 games certainly against Poland, Podmorozin, and the game particularly against Valhalla, were a testament to the way I think that Eagles has evolved, certainly in the last couple of years. Because usually a team like Valhalla, yes, we beat Valhalla 6-1 back in Gibraltar, but it was 1-1 until the very, very last quarter, because we play with our hearts, we play with the typical Latino flair of wanting to go and beat them, we get emotional. And against Valhalla this time around, we were a machine.
Yeah,
Eurohockey said that it was the best performance of a side up to that point, and when you consider that Podmorozin had just put 9 past Swansea, it says a lot. So we were a machine, they just couldn't get out. We were very well structured, we were very disciplined, it was very professional, everybody did what we were asked them to do, and it was that kind of, if you like, the discipline that we need to start having in local competitions that we have taken on to Eurohockey. So it's a challenge to get them there. But the fact is that the lads have responded really, really well over the last 2 years to try and evolve into something of a more, if you like, more disciplined side in terms of, play with the head and the heart, but the head dictates predominantly.
Before the 8-0 win, it was a tough result. I mean, we say tough, but really, when you consider the outcome of the other matches that played against the Polish side, on paper it wasn't bad 5-2, and I understand that Eagles actually gave them a good game.
Yes, it was. I think that that game was prepared very well, and Chris did a lot of homework on the opponents. We knew from watching games, or Chris watching games in the league, that they were a very strong team, they were a very fast team. They had very good results. So, I mean, we went out a little bit reserved, shall we say, because we didn't want to open the door to them and have them scoring that many goals, which was our aim. Our aim really was damage limitation. The fact of the matter that they scored first of an unfortunate error, I think gave us a bit of impetus, and actually we managed to draw them very quickly and bring the game back to a good result at that particular moment in the second quarter. Again, we had the chances in the third quarter when we were 3-2. We had the chances to go 3-3 up. We even had a chance to actually go 4-3 up. And I honestly thought it would have finished 3-2. And if it would have finished 3-2, we would have had an extra point, because there's a system whereby Eurohockey gives the losing team a point if you lose for less than two goals, So at the end of the day, I think we were all very happy, we could say, even the players, because we had a very good performance. Okay, the result wasn't wow, but still, considering that the other games, that the Polish played against the other opponents were all,
we could say, 12-2, 13-2.
At the end of the day, and funnily enough, at the end of the day, that 4-2 score is what gave us a pass-through to the final. Yeah, simply because on goal average, the Swansea achieved an extra goal than what we did against Valhalla, right? But because we only lost 4-2 against the Poles, and funny enough, they were watching that game and they were hecking us like, yeah, you're losing, yeah. And then it was the other way around, because when they played the Poles, they had a very good start, because they did have a very good start. But when the Poles started scoring one and then another,
floodgates open.
Heads went down, and then they just lost the plot.
We gave the Poles a scare, because at half-time, unaware, unbeknownst to us, we had been told that the pitch was not going to be watered at half-time. And all of a sudden the sprinklers came on, and essentially the technical judge from Eurohockey came around and said, we believe they're trying to delay the start because the sprinkler cycle takes 20 minutes.
Needed more of a team chat.
So they actually had to have the technical judge bring over the team at the time that was supposed to be allocated for us to get going again. Yeah, and I think they expected to roll us over. And
mind games, not there at half-time.
But I think it's testament to the way that we set up and the way that the players executed the game plan. And as Michael says, their goals came from our errors. It's not as if they steamrolled through us. So the results, yes, a 5-2 scoreline against, you look at it on paper and you think, wow, well, they've been hammered. We weren't. We gave them a game for certainly 3/4 of that game. We gave them the game, and the result could have been a lot tighter had we had the rub of the green. There was a couple of dubious umpiring decisions. If you want to be,
There always is, no?
there always is at every level, and that's something you can't control. So, and the players responded really well to that.
Yep.
So it was an exceptional result from us when you consider that Poland too, or at least the second Polish team, up till very recently have been playing in Trophy 1 and Trophy 2. That's 2 divisions, 3 divisions higher. They've come down as a result of the non-attendance by Polish teams in the past in Euro hockey.
Not because they lost.
Not because they've lost.
Yeah.
It's because they haven't attended and they've just been relegated and they've been sanctioned. So it's the same similar scenario to the Welsh. The Welsh have been Trophy 1, Trophy 2 for a very long time. So to find them in a challenge too, in the same group, is kind of like the equivalent of a group of death in a World Cup in football or any other sport. It was how do we navigate this and get out of this to try and get that 5th consecutive European Cup.
John Paul, having said all this, do you feel like that opening game sharpened you up for the rest of the week?
Yep, I think so. I think obviously no one likes to lose. I mean, we took it on the chin, but I think it did give us a very strong platform for the rest of the tournament. I mean, we knew the level that we had just played against, so we knew that if we kept up to that standard that we gave in that first game, we knew we could give a game to both, obviously Valhalla and obviously the Welsh, which was the main game that we were aiming for. So I mean, I think it gave us a lot of it showed us what the intensity can do in a hockey game.
And that match against the Welsh side, Swansea, 1-1, I mean, very tense, but you got the job done, Liam.
Yeah, we got the job done. It was a, as you said, very, very tense match. They'd been badgering us throughout the week, no matter what game we were playing, constantly aiming in for certain players. But the talking was done on the pitch, and who's gone through to the final, who ended up challenging for 3rd place. So I feel like at the end of the day, that's what counts, what's sat there.
That's some real fighting talk there.
Yep.
You've got some good kids here, hey, Chris? That's it for part 1. Join us again in part 2. We'll continue the Euro hockey conversation. Welcome back to Sports Soccer. We're talking hockey, and more specifically Euro hockey, with the champions of the Challenge Club 2 division, Eagles. Guys, let's set the scene for the big final now. We were, at least people that go to watch hockey, were talking about the chance that you might face your arch rivals Gramarians in Europe. And as fate would have it, it happened.
It was always going to happen. I said to Michael the moment the draw was made, I said to Michael, the reward for us doing the impossible, which is getting out of our group, is going over to Poland, of all places, to play against Gramarians. Because if you look at the quality of the 2 teams, and I think we've got to be honest about the quality of Gibraltar hockey, we knew that they had more than enough in the tank to get out of that group as a winner. You know, we expected them to beat the Maltese, we expected them to beat the Hungarians, and we thought that potentially Lithuania was going to be a slippery slope, but we knew they had enough in the tank. Because we know them, we know what they're like, and they have a team full of match winners. We face them. We always know the challenge that we have against them, and no matter who turns up for them, they give you a game, and that's the reality of Gibraltar hockey. We have that standard, no? So we knew that it was going to happen, and if we did what we were set out to do, which was control the Polish game, do what we needed to do against Valhalla, and then play our final against Swansea, that we would be meeting them. And I told them really early on, I told the team really early on that, look, the preparation is for that. The preparation is to make sure that is, if we don't want to lose a game, that's the one we don't want to lose. You don't want to get to a European Cup. You've performed against the Polish team, against Podmorzin. You've done an incredible game there. You've done what you needed to do against the Swedish champions. You've played against Swansea, which are one of the biggest clubs in Wales, or second biggest club in Wales. You don't want to then turn up to Gramarians and have the bad taste of losing there. So
adding to the bad taste of having already lost the league in some unbelievable fashion.
That was an incentive, and it was a big part of the conversation in the lead up to that for them. It was like, look, we've been beaten once all season, and that's cost us the league. Don't get beaten twice. You know, we had a run prior to that loss in the league of 11 consecutive games where we had not been beaten. Don't say you've...
Talk us through the feeling and the sentiment in the dressing room before that game then.
So before that game, obviously, we all knew what happened in that final game of the league. We knew that obviously it was in our hands and we lost it. So everyone had that bad taste in their mouths. I think it pushed us even further because it gave us the extra edge that we needed to empty the tank completely and push 100% against the Gramarians. Obviously, we didn't want to lose twice, and obviously we didn't want to lose 2 competitions against them. So, I mean, before the game, we all knew what we had to do. We all knew how we had to finish the day.
And what a match, Liam, 4-3, and I again heard from people that were there that it was the best match of the tournament.
High stakes, high rewards as well. So
I like it, eh? I like it.
yeah. To be honest, I'm going to be completely transparent here. I'm so glad I watched it from the bench because being on that pitch, I couldn't imagine myself playing that game. The nerves, and it's just the fact that it's playing against our home rivals as well. If it was another team, it would have been a bit more, well, okay. But if we would have come back here, having lost that final and the domestic league as well, we would have never heard the end of it. That would have also been the European streak gone, but we have it here with us. We managed to pull out the bag, performed very, very well. Some very good individual performances, in my opinion. But we're just glad to have got it done.
Yeah, individual performances. Lee Dobinson got the winning goal, got a brace. But before the winning goal, I mean, it was hectic at times. Michael, was there any period where you were worried it might not go your way?
You always worry. I mean, to be fair, we started on fire because we scored in the first, I think it was about 4 or 5 minutes of the first quarter, and I said, crumbs, you know. I didn't really expect to go in front so quickly, but the guys came out on fire, and we said, you know, if we scored 1, we need to score that second. You always want to score that second because 1 is never enough. 2 is always not enough either. But they got back into the game, and when they got back into the game, they had minutes where they had us under the cosh. We defended very well. They didn't really create that many chances. Again, I mean, I don't like to say it, but sometimes it happens in all sports. Mistakes are costly, and at that standard, you just can't afford to do that. You know. But I definitely the game was really, really intense. I think it's probably the most intense game that I played against Gramarian or a final, you know.
I was going to say, is it any different playing them in Europe to playing them here at the Bayside Complex?
Completely.
Yeah, you've got the stakes obviously much higher, especially in that game. You both want to go and win it. You both want to have that edge over the other team for the next season that's coming. So the stakes are much, much higher.
What I must say, Mari, is that I don't know whether it's because you're away, you're playing away, you're not playing here in Gibraltar, the crowd, you know, the rivalry that we have, and we have had for many years. It's not like it was in my time. It was a bit more tense in my time. But now...
More physical, no?
It was more physical. Hockey was a hell of a lot more physical. But it was played, you know, it was very, very well umpired, I believe, very neutralised. You know, I'm not saying that the umpiring here is not the same, but there was something in that match that, you know, it was free flow. It was free flowing. You know, there were chances. There was a lot of possession. There wasn't any nitty gritty that happens here and happens in many matches. But when you play against the same rival, week in, week out, it does happen. You know, so it was very, very free flowing. And cards, I can't remember, maybe the 1 or the 2 odd cards.
Yeah. And that's surprising for Liga's Gramarians.
Yeah, exactly. And when you're saying compared to what we play here, it was totally different. It was like we've never played.
You're all on your best behaviour, not for Europe.
Everybody, yeah. Well, you have to.
I think you've got to be, and I think both teams were aware of the fact that it was historic for Gibraltar to have 2 teams in a final. And at the end of the day, that's an achievement for Gibraltar hockey. Yeah. And the fact that it was the best game of the tournament and it was commented by everybody there, it was an advert for Gibraltar hockey. And I think Michael's right. I think you go away, there's nobody knows the umpires, you don't know the judges, you don't know everything. It's a different setup to what we have here. And whether we like it or not, a lot of the times the bad blood that happens between Eagles and Grammarians actually is not on the pitch. It's the externals, it's the people surrounding the clubs from far away who never turn up, who are not actually on the pitch day in, day out, and who know that when we come off training, they go on and we're having a talk with them, we have a chat with them. We have some of our younger ones go for beers with the Grammarians.
¿En tu tiempo, Michael, eso no, eh?
At all.
They watched our games, we watched some of their games. The relationship between the two clubs is probably at its best. We're rivals. On the pitch, we don't want to see each other and we want to beat them. And they want to beat us, and that's the reality.
Brilliant to see Eagles win team gold, and then also on a personal level and a player-based level, Joe Bodge awarded best keeper of the tournament. Not the first time for him either. I mean, it speaks volume of the high-level goalkeeper we have here in Gibraltar. Joe Bodge.
He's got 5 now, so he's actually got 5. Obviously, that run started with in his time with Gramarians, I think the national side as well, and with us. And you know, Joe is demanding. Joe is one of these individuals who, you, as a coach, you love and you hate. You love him because he's competitive, he's there, he doesn't miss a session. You know, he's got to be dying to miss a session. But then on the other side, he's driving you berserk, and he drives the players berserk about, you know, I want you 2 steps to the right, I want you 2 steps to the left. But he demands, and that's what you need. You need somebody who's got this mindset. He's a winner.
Yeah, I was just going to say for John Paul, I mean, for you, it's a personal journey because, like Chris mentioned at the beginning, you won the first one back in 2019, the first of the streak. Now you've won the 5th one. Talk us through your journey through Euro hockey then, I mean, from being a teenager to now.
So yeah, I remember my first tournament over in Malta. I think I was 17 years old, so the same age as Liam. I mean, I remember being on that stage, getting in minutes, 5 minutes at a time, if that, maybe. Obviously as a youngster, but I remember giving it my all in all those minutes to then a tournament like this where I could have played most of the minutes. I mean, I think the training that we have to do to get to this stage is immense. I mean, I've played a lot with older people as well, so I've always played with some veterans and stuff who you get stuff which gives you that level head. I mean, even as a youngster that we are still, because I still think that we are youngsters who are the base of the team. Yeah. So, I mean, when you have that pressure behind you of, you know, you have to help with the team much more than, obviously, when I started. I mean, it's a great feeling, to be honest.
Liam, does it feel like this is the start of your winning streak?
Hopefully. I mean, I plan on playing hockey well into the future, trying to maximise as much time as I can. It's something that I would want to carry on in university level and then hopefully come back to Gibraltar to carry on representing these colours. For the continuation of the trophies, only time will tell, you know. There's been some great commitment behind the scene from Chris and Michael. The club wouldn't be where it is without them. Also, the players that they've mentioned that we've called back is a favour and a half. I don't think we would have had the tournament that we would have had without them. I'm trying to get as much experience as possible. I'm going to be quite frank. I feel like as much experience for me would help kind of develop my role in the team. As I'm aware now, I'm not one of the main ones, which I'm happy with because al final
how old are you now? You're just 17.
Al final, you've got to start somewhere. So, yeah.
But you scored an important goal in the cup, I believe, this year. You scored the winning goal. If my mind takes me back correctly,
yes,
you did score the winning goal in the cup, no?
Yeah.
One of the goals in the cup, yeah.
It's the times that I get the ball, I try and maximise the input and the efficiency with the ball. Even if, for example, I get it once in a match, I feel like for me, that one pass or that one dribble could be like the sufficient one that leads to a goal or an important play. So, like, I see myself more as a role player, not one of the...
That will change over time.
Yeah. Hopefully. It's like the quick jump in. Oh, this one needs a rest. Go in. Or oh no, we need fresh legs up top. So I'm happy with that. My goals in the cup, as you said, translated into Europe. Managed to score against Valhalla, one of the last goals. So, yeah, I feel like the playing time that I'm getting from the cup and the ones that I'm getting, the cameos in the league as well, is really helping me progress in my journey so far.
Chris, just to feel on a very good positive, you've got some exciting young players coming up, eh?
See, we do, and I think this is an achievement. I think the greatest achievement as a club this season has actually been being able to bring out a reserve side. Definitely. Because that is what helps us develop. The last season we didn't have one. This season we have, And that's been able to give us the minutes that the likes of Liam, Jeremy, Liam Sacconi, Liam Sakisang, who didn't come with us, Art, Darren Shaisola, all our youngsters, Leon Henwood, who's now beginning his journey through our academy and in transition into our senior squad. So that is a really important place for us as a club, because it allows us to develop these young players into the players that we want them to be, so when they come in to do the job at First Division, they know what they're doing. So we're a club who develops players, and that's our philosophy. It's always been our philosophy, and that, under me, will certainly not change, and Michael won't let that change ever.
Well, I think that's a beautiful note to finish on. Thank you very much, guys. And again, big congratulations on Eagles winning Euro hockey competition. Euro hockey competition is over for the clubs, but it's not for the national sides, because the women's national side and the men's national side are both over to Finland to take on the Euro hockey competition there in a few weeks' time. So best of luck to them. From the team and myself, it's good night.